How many dogs have you found homes for in your life?
About 100.
Okay.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.
Hey, everybody, it's Tosh Show Tuesday. Woo! Eddie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. How long did it take you to get here today?
Hour and a half, hour 45.
This is the first day that you came here to Malibu via the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH, after the fires closed. How traumatic was it?
It's different. It's sad. You don't want to go though. Don't go. You said you haven't done it yet, right? You're not going to do it?
No, I don't drive through the burn areas right now. But I will. I would like to point out. I'm not saying that I put a mouth on it and caused all of this. But remember when I said the fix to making PCH safer was to slow the speed limit down considerably?
Right.
And not allow people to park on the side of the highway?
Yep.
Well, currently, the PCH, the speed limit has been dropped to 25 miles an hour. You are not allowed to park anywhere on the side. And guess what? 0 deaths.
Yep.
So, I guess, it seems odd that I would want this in this current moment, but you're welcome. By the way, the wildfires, and rightfully so, have gotten tons of global coverage. You know, they always talk about, well, what's important is life, and you don't want people to die, so that all the other stuff can be replaced. And then we had another tragedy in D.C. with that flight that collided with the helicopter, and 67 people were killed. I mean, I'm just pointing out that in the fires, 29 people were killed. Global coverage, twice as many people killed on American Eagle flight, and it's less. And I'm just saying, one of those was life, and the other is about a lot of stuff. The point that I'm making here is that we do care about stuff. We don't care about people as much as we should. Whoa. Wasn't ready for that heavy take on Tosh Show.
I mean, you gave up on stuff a long time ago.
Oh, man.
You've been out.
I got a lot of stuff. I got to get rid of it. In even bigger news, Luka to the Lakers. Well, as a lifelong Laker hater, this couldn't be more perfect for me. Oh, is he easy to hate? Are you telling me for the next decade I get to watch him go like this after every non-call? I was fouled. Look at my fat, pasty body. You can see the marks. And as a twofer, it also knocks down a few more people in the pecking order of Laker greats. You have LeBron, and you're going to have Luka. You had Shaq, Kareem, Magic, James Worthy, and then Kobe. Wow.
It pushes him out.
Kobe getting knocked all the way down. I'll take your comments off air. I don't know. Luka, they say he just couldn't stay in shape. And now he's going to the Lakers where a 40-year-old LeBron James spends $1 million. Who's his physical therapist, Dr. Evil? $1 million a year to keep LeBron at 40 in top physical condition. Luka, famously, during the offseason, I'm told, has 24 Slovenian sausages a day. That's his regiment. You don't want to guard a man that's had a couple dozen Slovenian sausages sweating out the pores. That's not good.
Having the meat sweats out there.
Oh, you don't want to press up against him. He's slippery. And you need to be slippery when you got a 6-inch vertical. Oh, and guess what? You won't believe this. I have another poop story.
We got to start. There has to be a sting for these now.
All right, let's create a sting for the poop stories. Poop story number 341. I feel like because I talk about it, that more and more poop-related things are entering my life. Now, I've told you in the past that my beloved Carl has occasionally dabbled in the poop cuisine. He's had one of my daughter's turds a time or two. Well, as you know, I bought a pig. I didn't, but the wife and her cousin did. And this pig, when he was brought into our lives I think at 8 weeks old, was 7 pounds. Okay, now we're at 4 months in. He's currently 25 pounds. And oh my goodness, will eat any dog poop that's in the yard. So I'm like, now whenever my dogs go, everyone has the strict instructions to quickly bag it before Potato gets it. Okay, well, the other day, I have a pile of these bagged dog droppings that I save for the gardener to get rid of. Well, Potato found that area, ripped into the bags. There's probably 10, 15 bags, each bag probably 2 to 5 poops. That's how I do it. You pick 1 or 2 or 3 up, depends on how small they are when you're cleaning up the yard. My educated guess is he probably ate, his body weight in poop. So now I have to bag it and get rid of it and put it in the trash can. It's a lot of work. By the way, this pig still sleeps in my bedroom. Cutest thing in the world. I'm pretty sure this is how Ava, my old dog, is going to die because her weight is less and less. She's probably 8 or 9 pounds now. She sleeps in her dog bed. And then the 25-pound pig crawls on top of her and basically suffocates her all night long. And she tends to love it. They constantly are spooning. I got a photo of her putting her little paw over the top of the pig. They sleep together constantly. By the way, sometimes he doesn't even wait for the dogs to go poop. I've caught him going up to Ava while she was napping and just eating from the tap.
Oh, just come on.
Yeah. Couldn't believe it. Potato's eating ass. like he's some kind of Mormon with the poop hole loophole. It's unacceptable. I should ask today's guest how to fix the pig poop eating problem, but they're going to say the same thing. They would just make sure you pick it all up. Well, okay. But now I have to follow multiple pets around and oh no, they went to the bathroom quick before hungry Potato gets over here. Enjoy.
Tosh Show.
If there is a heaven, my guest today would get in without a problem. She's rescued over 100 dogs from being euthanized and now trains pooches full-time right here in Los Angeles. She's a real treat to have on today's show. Please welcome Cassidy.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I believe in spirit guides, so is that the same thing?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Do you believe in dog ghosts?
Yeah.
So every species on the planet has their own ghost after death?
I don't know. I go back and forth. Sometimes I think some things reincarnate into something else, and other things stay as ghosts.
Good to know. I feel like that's
still figuring it out.
Well, you let me know when you get there.
I will.
Where are you originally from?
I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
How long did you live there?
I lived there until I was 18, and then I moved to Duluth, Minnesota, where I went to college and stayed a few years after. Very cold.
One of my screensavers on an old computer was my dog. I was walking on a pier with a little tiny lighthouse at the end of it that was in Duluth.
You've been to Duluth?
Sure.
I love it.
How else would that story be relevant?
I don't know if you photoshopped your dogs into it.
No one's photoshopping Duluth.
That's very true. Duluth is so beautiful. I always say it's a hidden gem of the Midwest.
Do you know what I'm talking about, the little lighthouse?
Yes, of course, in Canal.
Yeah, a little lighthouse. Oh, man, I remember that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Do you still have family in Tulsa?
I do. All my whole family's in Tulsa.
Tulsa, I mean, just a real awful town. True or false?
True. I don't love it. I think everyone says it's up and coming.
What?
I feel like it's 15
No one has
years
ever-
behind. Everyone
No
there.
one has ever said Tulsa is up and
Everyone
Tulsa,
there says it's up and coming.
Huh.
I still think it's 10, 15 years behind.
There used to be a crappy comedy club that I worked as a young comedian in Tulsa, and it was it shared a building with a nightclub.
It's probably still there.
Well, and the nightclub at the time was played a lot of heavy bass, hip hop music, and it was just funny because I'd be performing and you just hear bass coming through the walls, and I was like, "This is not good."
I haven't been because I was 18 when I left, so I've never really gone out in Tulsa.
Well, sure, this is way before your time.
It might still be there though.
Favorite college football team?
Sooners.
All right. I didn't know if you were like you don't care at all, but you.
I mean, I don't watch it, but
Sure.
I feel like I
You know
just
what
grew
my
up.
favorite Sooners game was?
What?
That game, it was like a couple years ago, maybe it was longer, where after they scored, the trailer flipped over and the girl flew out. The horses were just dragging her around.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh, that was delightful. That was delightful. So you finished in Duluth. What did you study?
Communications.
With dogs?
No. No. They do have degrees for that kind of stuff now,
Do
though.
they really?
I don't know. I've heard of it.
That's a better answer.
I haven't endeavored.
Okay. So you had a degree in communications. I used to tell people I had a minor in communications, but I don't think I did.
Probably not.
I think I just lied about it. Why did I lie about
Did you have
that?
a major?
Yeah, I had a degree in marketing.
Oh.
I think
They're very similar. There's a lot of overlap.
I'm sure I had classes in
probably had-
communications,
yeah.
but didn't. All right, so what was your big plan when you were in college?
I did not have one. My plan was to get out of college as soon as possible.
That was my plan.
Yeah. So,
Did you finish early?
yes, I graduated at 20 and
Is that a full year early?
It was a full year early, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was waiting tables at the time, and I just kind of stayed in Duluth waiting tables. And I guess the way I got into dogs, I kind of I call it the rescue rabbit hole. You kind of spiral when you get into the rescue world, I found, for me at least. And I basically saw a disconnect where I'm from in Tulsa. Dogs are buy one, get one from the shelter, and they're like $10. And there's just a ton of strays, kind of like Southern California. So they're being euthanized a lot. And then I would take them to Minnesota to be adopted, where dogs cost way more to adopt. So,
Real quick, the dogs aren't euthanized in Southern California.
yeah.
They are?
Yeah, there's a lot of overcrowding in the shelters.
Oh, man.
Especially in like Bakersfield and
Okay, we'll get into whether I
Lancaster.
consider Bakersfield Southern California, but fair enough.
Fair.
So you started illegally
Yes.
adopting dogs
Yes.
in Tulsa, bringing them up to Minnesota,
Yeah.
the great folks of Minnesota,
Yes.
and charging them $700 per
No,
dog.
I did not charge.
Okay.
I only charged what I
To
most of the
cover your
time
expense.
to cover the expenses, and to be honest, most of the time I never collected.
So you were just rescuing dogs.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that real depressing movie with what's her name? Who? That's how I talk about people because I never know actors' names. From SNL, and she, what was her name? She's the one that smelled her armpits. Molly Shannon, and then she just went on this. Her life just became about helping rescue dogs, and then at the end of it, it's just like her happy, kind of. It's just depressing the whole movie, and she has thousands of dogs with her.
Was she happy with the
I don't
thousands
know.
of
I don't know.
dogs?
What's the name of this movie? Year of the Dog.
No, I haven't seen it. One thing about me is I haven't seen a lot of movies.
There's nobody has seen this movie.
Yeah.
They're all freaking out right back there that I pulled this movie from a Rolodex of randomness that I've seen.
I'll check it out.
Anyway, it might be your life story.
I hope it's not, to be honest.
It was depressing.
I hope it's not my life story.
Have you ever smelled your armpits?
Don't we all? Doing yoga? I don't know. Laying there?
No, I don't do yoga.
Do you ever lay like this?
Oh yeah, so if it's ripe, I call in the wife immediately.
What does
I'm
she
like,
do?
Oh, I got a good one. She's like, what? I'm like, smell this, and she's like, ah, you know, it's what we do. Smells are my thing. I like smells, foul and otherwise. Say what you will. I don't care. Judge me. How many back and forths did you do from Tulsa to Duluth?
I I have not counted. I'd have to look at my archives.
A dozen?
Probably. It got to a point where I would just do it. Like I would come home for Thanksgiving because I didn't tell my parents I was doing this because I didn't want them to worry.
Yeah. It was, at first it was like you're like a drug mule, but with pooches.
Yeah. And I would break it up into days. Sometimes we'd sneak into a motel in Iowa.
Who's we?
Me and the dogs.
Okay.
Me, myself, and the dogs.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we
Do you bring
the
this stuff up on a first date by chance?
No, I actually don't talk about it, to be honest. I just started talking about it again. It got to a point where they started driving the dogs. They would drive them to Iowa or they would drive them to Wisconsin.
Your folks?
No, the rescue.
Oh.
Sorry, like people from the shelter. So there's people who commit their whole lives to transporting these dogs across the country. It's insane, but they'll basically load up a huge Sprinter van of like 50 dogs, crates stacked on top of each other, and they drive them across the country to go to northern shelters where there's more demand.
Why is Tulsa so littered with stray dogs?
So I have theories. I think it's just the South because...
Do you consider Tulsa the South?
No, but it's warmer climates. So it's
Okay.
warm enough for animals to survive in. So a lot of people, if they are torn between getting rid of their dog, there's no one to take the dog, they can either dump the dog or take them to a shelter, and they're probably going to be euthanized at the shelter, then they're just going to dump the dog because then that dog can at least go and live their life in nature. And then if they're not spayed and neutered, then they procreate, and then we have a plethora of dogs. Whereas in the North, if you were faced with the same concept or same dilemma, you wouldn't dump your dog because you know that dog would just freeze to death. And that would just be wrong.
I grew up always having dogs. Okay, but you're not going to like the story.
That's okay.
Okay, but I'm a huge dog advocate now. But when my parents moved constantly, and whenever we moved, my dad just got rid of our dog. Like the dog didn't come with us.
It's very common.
And I was always like, I never even thought to be like, well, why wouldn't we just bring our dog? He's like, you're not going to bring a St. Bernard to Florida. And I'm like, well, fair enough.
That's not terrible, though.
I know, but like, let me tell you, it wasn't like he went and sought out a good family.
Yeah.
It was just the dog just is gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's one scenario. One time, my rabbit, my mom's like, well, we're moving. You can't bring your rabbit. I'm like, well, why can't I? That wasn't even a conversation.
That's so sad. I'm so sorry.
Well, listen, a lot of this stuff is the issues that you see before you. But now, I mean, good grief, I get so attached.
Yeah, you'd never.
And I don't even care about the pain that I go through when one of them dies.
Yeah.
I just keep doing it. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Yeah. It's pretty excruciating.
Oh, it's rough.
So, for example, when COVID hit, it was all the shelters in Minnesota were emptied because people were staying at home and they had time to go foster a dog
I mean,
or
the whole
adopt a dog.
country almost got rid of all of our shelter dogs
In
during
Tulsa,
COVID.
the problem doubled because people were thinking that their dogs were going to give them COVID.
Oh, see, okay.
So there's just
I didn't even know about those people.
it got really bad in Tulsa around that time. And also, not even just that, but then they got laid off. They couldn't afford their dog. They couldn't afford another mouth to feed. So then they would dump their dog because they didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I do think that if people's needs were met, then they wouldn't need to get rid of their dogs when times got hard.
You know what rabbit hole I used to go down?
What?
I don't do it anymore, but I used to go down adopting children. You'd like look into foster kids, and you'd see these videos that they make of themselves, and they're cute, and they're doing the big song and dance. Like, I'm great. Come on, give me a home. And it would just tear me apart, but I'd watch these videos. But then what happened was years would go by, and I'd see the same kids 4 years later, like me and my sister still looking for a family, and it's just heartbreaking.
That would be horrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
So
you just see them age.
that's at 20. I wasn't ready for that. So I went the dog route.
You went to the dog route.
Yeah.
What does red listed mean for a shelter dog?
Euthanasia listed. So that means that they'll say this dog is red listed for 2 p.m. and that means that they will be euthanized at 2 p.m. Yeah, I don't follow those pages anymore.
No? Oh.
I try not to.
And like, what do? Hustle down there?
Yes. Or people are posting, they're pledging money that's never collected because you can just comment on Instagram and say, I pledged $50. And then someone's like, great, I grabbed the dog. Where's that $50 to help with the dog?
Got it.
For medical bills, and then you don't hear from them.
How many dogs have you found homes for in your life?
About 100.
And how many dogs have you fostered?
Probably over 100. I think I stopped counting at like 40 because I was just like,
You rename those foster dogs or no?
I'll name them. Sometimes I'll keep their shelter names. Sometimes they just have a kennel code name, like a number. It'll be like A103729.
And when did you make the voyage out west?
I came out west 3 years ago.
What do your parents say when someone in Oklahoma asks what you're up to these days?
That's a good one. My dad says, well, Cassidy's our free spirit child. She's out in California living with the Manson crew.
The shoe fits.
Yep. And people don't train dogs in Oklahoma, especially. So this career doesn't really exist there as much. So they don't really understand it or see it as a career.
When did you start going to prisons?
I started going 2 years ago.
And what? Explain to people what you do there.
So the Positive Change Program is a program ran by Marley's Mutts, a rescue in Tehachapi, and they pair dogs who would otherwise be euthanized with people living in prison, and then the inmates train the dogs, and then the dogs become adopted.
It sounds great. Now, if you were to give me the choice, death or prison, I'm not sure which one I would take.
I don't know either.
Is it only male prisons?
I've done a women's prison, and right now I'm a part of 2 male prisons.
Do you have to bring cats to the women's prisons?
No.
Doesn't seem like that would be the right scenario.
No.
By the way, do you fuck with cats?
I like cats. I don't know anything about training cats. People ask me that a lot. No idea. I like cats, though. I think more people should get cats.
Why?
Because I think more people want something that can just cuddle them on their couch and then stay home all day while they leave. You have so much more freedom when you have a cat versus when you have a dog. Like a dog is a lot of responsibility, and I just don't think a lot of people realize that. But it's true. My parents tried to lecture me on that, and I was like, yeah, I know. We had dogs growing up, but I didn't realize how much my mom did for our dogs.
Was your first experience with professional dog training in a prison?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I had a couple of mentors that I worked under for a little bit. To be honest, I kind of started doing it. So had I not left Minnesota, I arguably created the perfect business plan for myself because I brought all of these rescue dogs to Minnesota, and now all those dogs need training. So I kind of created a problem that I then became a trainer and could have had a solution for, but I left to come to California to learn more from other trainers. But I do still keep in touch with a lot of them, and they'll call me with training questions. So I kind of started doing it really just to keep these dogs out of my house and get them adopted and successfully. I was like, if you want to adopt this dog, this is the best way to transition them into your house. So I would help them with that. And then a lot of people told me, like, kind of pushed me and encouraged me to start trying to do this professionally. And ultimately, I wanted to do the Positive Change Program. That was a huge, very early in my rescuing days when I was struggling with Lana biting other dogs. I found the Positive Change Program on social media, and then I found trainers through there and clicked on trainers they would share. And I just kind of went down this journey of trying these different methods and applying what worked and teaching it to other people.
What do your services cost us? And you should probably say a higher number than normal, just in case.
So I'm getting my website launched right now, so I've just changed kind of what I'm offering. My services, my private lessons are $250 an hour for a private lesson. I offer daily training, which is 4 days a week. So I'll come to your house for an hour a day, 4 days a week, and that is $600 a week.
Now, do I have to be present for that?
No, you do have to be present for one. So
One
like
a
every
week.
Friday, you have to be there.
I got to hang out with you for an hour.
Yeah, so that
every
you
Friday.
can practice over the weekend. Because this is what's so hard is that I'm not like selling you this mug and charging you, and then you're like, great, I love the mug. It's kind of like if you hired a personal trainer because you wanted to get fit, but then you didn't do any of the work, then you're not going to see the results you want. But then that reflects, for some reason, when it comes to dog training, people don't put that together necessarily, and then that reflects on me being a shitty dog trainer because you didn't practice anything I taught you.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Like, I look at all the things that I refuse to do. It's always like mental health. I won't see anybody, won't talk to anybody. Trainer won't do it. I just want to avoid those interactions. Yet anything else where it's something like I could clean my deck, I refuse to, that I would hire somebody for. But I would all the things that are important to make you a better person, to make people around you happier. I'm like, nope. Like couples there, no.
A lot of people don't hire a dog trainer until their dog. I didn't do anything training wise until Lana was attacking other dogs, and then I was like, oh.
If someone couldn't afford your services, what advice would you give them for trying to train their own dog?
There is so much free content out there. And it can be really confusing and overwhelming to people because there's such differing philosophies when it comes to training. I would say just try it. Try something. Stick with it for a little bit. If it doesn't work, try something else.
Do reward-based systems work long-term?
They can, kind of. But then at some point, you're not going to have a treat on you. So you have to figure something else out.
Well, right, but rewards don't have to be a treat. Rewards can be love
can be
and
affection.
praise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's all I do. I just reach in my pocket like I have a treat.
So you trick your dog.
Constantly.
Got
I'm
it.
like, you thought I had something. I don't like the way treats feel in my pocket.
What about a fanny pack?
I wear a fanny pack more for fashion, not for
Great.
not
Put
for
some treats
function.
in there.
I'm not putting
A
treats in.
fashionable fanny pack.
Oh, the treats smell.
They do smell. They smell.
Yeah, I'm told you I'm into smells. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
Kind of
it.
always smelled like dog and dog treats
My dad used to not let us have Doritos as a child.
because they stunk.
He said he always would say they smell like a sweaty dog.
Really?
He would scream at us. Get those out of the house. We're not having Doritos. We weren't allowed to have
Out of the
Doritos.
house.
Isn't that weird?
All the flavors?
No, just nacho.
Just nacho.
I don't think Cool Ranch smelled like a dog to him.
I think that one has a stronger scent.
It probably does. Maybe it was Cool Ranch too. I have no idea. That's so silly. What about those bark collars? Do you like bark collars?
I haven't used a bark collar personally. I'm not against them. I do use e-collars, electronic collars.
Yeah.
I'll use very low levels.
We cranked ours up to max with my dog. He didn't care at all. He'd bark right through it.
Because you have to teach him what it means.
It's just like, and then he's just like, I think he was getting stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening. All of a sudden he just started like, oh.
Did you just buy one and put it on your dog and just see what happened?
I don't know how I introduced it to him.
Yeah.
But I just know that it was on like a nothing setting and we got no reaction. And
So then you just...
we just kept cranking it up.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
one way to do it.
it didn't work.
That's not the
He doesn't-
way
he
people at
doesn't
home
use
should
it.
do it.
Then I bought this little frequency noise thing that when he barks, you're supposed to press it, and it does a noise that they don't like.
And then did he stop?
Well, here's my thing. Right around the time my other dog, who has dementia, I was like, well, now she's getting
Yeah.
a side effect of your bad behavior. I couldn't in good faith do it when old crazy over here is like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. It's a little unfair.
It's not fair, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have a solution to that problem.
Is your other dog still barking?
Oh, yeah, constantly. Again, I don't care. I was trying to make my partner, less agitated.
Yeah.
Nah, that ship sailed. Did you ever do the whatchamacallit leashes? With the
Like the prongs?
The prongs?
I don't use them.
I don't use them either.
I like e-collar over prong, personally.
I have a wide band choke collar. Is that acceptable?
I mean, anything's acceptable. You just have to teach the dog what it means.
My dog walks fine.
Then great. Then that's not, yeah.
He likes to lead, and I kind of always pull him back. Should I do that, or should I let him? Is it okay to let him lead?
If you're not working through any behavior issues, it just depends on what you want. Dexter typically walks in front of me, but Lana stays by my side.
I always like those cool dog owners that go leashless, and the dog just stays
I
right next to
know.
him, and they're not affected by anything.
I know, I saw one down there.
As soon as I see it, though, I'm just like, whatever. You just have more time on your hands. I'm at home spending time with friends and family, jerk. Can you train any dog?
Hypothetically, I'm still kind of early in my career, so I don't want to be naive and think I could train any dog, and then I get a dog and I'm like, can't do that.
Okay. Look, I've never had a trainer for any of my dogs. I've had trainers come to my house and start, but then 30 minutes in, I'm just like, when is this person leaving? Because they do too much for me. read the room. You know, here's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't have dogs that are going to hurt me physically. Everything else, you mean I just need to spend a lot of time, repetition, do it every day. So I'm like, I don't, this is getting silly. I don't need this.
I mean, growing up, we didn't have a trainer. Like, our dogs were perfect. I didn't know dogs needed training.
Is that just an LA thing where these people are just lazy and they want you to do the work for them?
I think that's part of it, but I also think the expectations in modern society that we put on dogs in cities like LA, New York, just busier cities. Like, so Lana used to be so reactive. Every time I stepped outside of the house, she'd be lunging if a leaf crinkled.
Okay.
And if I lived in an apartment in LA, I have to get her out of the house 3 to 4 times a day to go potty. That's non-negotiable. So I can't have her acting like that. So I think it's more necessity, but also everybody wants a patio puppy, which is also fine. I love taking my dogs to sit on patios, but
Is that a term that I should have known, patio puppy?
no, I kind of just made it up.
Okay.
But that is like an expectation. We put a lot of expectations on our dogs in LA and busier cities. Everybody wants to be able to take their dog running off leash at the beach with other dogs and not have anything happen. And I agree. I do think, to me, dog training is a more spiritual experience.
That's when
and
I would
practice,
be like, I'm out.
And that's when you're like, I'm checking out. So would your wife stick around?
No.
No.
She doesn't like dogs.
Oh, then yeah, she definitely wouldn't. Yeah, so it's just about but if your dog isn't endangering you,
Right.
then I don't really care. Like, I'll meet you where you're at.
What's the hardest breed to train?
Huskies.
Huskies.
Yeah. Or German Shepherds. They're just really opposite. So German Shepherds are hard to train because they're so owner-oriented that they need constant information. And Huskies are the opposite, where they couldn't give 2 shits about you and just want to go be feral.
Let's talk pit bulls for a second.
Okay.
Are you love them?
I like pit bulls, yeah.
Are you afraid of them?
No. These two are, he's kind of pit bull. She's a pit bull.
See, my brother always has pits, rescue pits. I love them, but I'm always like, I don't get mad at me because I'm not,
Putting your face up to...
I'll do that. I'll even do that because I'm not worried about it. But I understand there's like, no, a Havanese is not going to kill someone.
No.
Under any circumstance, no matter how poorly trained they are. Some dogs have consequences, other dogs don't.
Yeah, exactly. Owning a pit bull is a way bigger responsibility, in my opinion.
I have a Bernedoodle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One Bernedoodle.
I like doodles. I think everybody thinks that they're getting one thing, and then I've definitely trained some pretty intense doodles, but I think overall they have pretty good demeanors. I like them.
I'm happy with mine. The things that people don't like about my dog, I actually like. Like when somebody new comes in the house, big bark.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. Oh, my good.
That's the thing, and that's what I tell a lot of clients is my dogs are far from this perfect standard of what a dog trainer's dog should be. If you come into my house, my dogs would be rushing to the door, jumping on you and barking because they're letting me know, like, someone's here. They're going to quickly settle down and I can call them off. And if I know how to work through that behavior if I wanted to, but I just don't really care to.
What about those people that buy $80,000 German Shepherds?
That's insane.
That only, like, all the 9, you have to scream at them.
Oh, like,
They, like, basically take care of their
like
children.
bite work dogs?
What is it?
Like bite work dogs or like sports dogs?
Something.
Yeah, I'm not too into the sports world. It's super opposite. Not opposite.
These are like security dogs on properties and
personal
stuff.
protection dogs. Yeah. That's a huge responsibility too. I think people just don't realize the responsibility that goes into that. And I know some people who let their guard down and the dog went after a kid or something awful like that. And then it's just unfortunate for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Because the dog was arguably doing their job.
Just give me that money. That's a lot.
I know. I'm just like, I could do so much for shelters with that money.
Well, see, that's what I do. I buy really expensive designer dogs. Then, the guilt from what I've done makes me cut checks to best friends. That's who I always work with.
Good, it should.
For decades, I'm just like, ugh. Fine.
Looking at your doodle and you're like, here's another check.
Right. So I feel like it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
My dog creates guilt.
Great.
Also, my allergies. People always say, "Oh, you get a hyperallergenic dog, you have allergies." I can't put a new shirt on without sneezing for 45
You're
minutes.
still allergic to your Doodle?
No, not really. But like dogs, I can
Oh, right, yeah.
I can start feeling it.
I used to be allergic to dogs.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
You got
agree
rid of
that
it?
eventually.
You like Chihuahuas?
Yeah, I do.
Do they outnumber pit bulls in the shelters?
No, I don't think they outnumber them because people want small dogs, so they'll tolerate like a poorly behaved Chihuahua. And to be honest, I don't think everybody should go rescue the red-listed pit bull. I think that there's a lot of really good, well-demeanored pitties that are up for adoption that you can definitely go just get to know the dog.
Don't ever read the comments
No, I'm
on
not
any
going
of
to.
my videos.
I'm not going to.
Because it's just people are just awful.
Yeah.
I just can't handle it. They just try to find, oh, what?
But they have nothing going on.
German Shepherds are not the hardest dog to train.
Yeah.
She's an idiot. Like, okay.
This girl's never trained dogs in her life.
Doesn't matter. Everybody that's on the show gets a gift. Your gift is not, it's just stuff from my house.
Oh,
that
great.
I don't want. That's all I ever give away.
Okay, cool.
But this,
oh, caution heavy.
yeah, this a company sent me.
Okay.
It's Thunder, whatever. They do vests for dogs, but then they have all kinds of things. There's leashes, there's shirts. This one says my dog's name, so Carl Point Oh, that's cute. I'll keep that. Thanks, guys. But there's just a million things in here for dogs. But here's what.
Amazing. Have you used this for your dog?
No,
The anxiety vest?
no.
I'll try
My
to
dogs
fix
don't.
her.
My dogs don't have anxiety.
I mean, if she's barking all the time.
Not all the time. Just when my wife is nearby
Okay.
or menstruating. I don't know. Here, get this off my desk, please.
Okay.
It's heavy. I know. You're gonna be careful with it.
Okay.
You got it. You're strong. The dogs. There's probably treats in there that they can smell. Let me tell you why Thunder. What is it called? Thunder Works. Let me tell you why
Thunder shirt?
Yeah,
I
the
think
Thunder
Thunder
shirt.
shirt.
This is why they sent me this box. I was interviewing my father-in-law, and he says he's got bad posture. He's like, well, I wear a Thunder shirt like twice a week to straighten my posture. He didn't mean an actual Thunder shirt. He was just calling it that. I think the brand that he wears is Tommy Cooper. Is the brand of posture shirt that he wears so he doesn't slunch like
That
an
would
old
have
man.
been a better PR box.
Well, anyway, Thunder shirts, they thought it was nice that we were talking about them, so they sent me a huge box. I'm like, well, I don't have this problem with my dog. What am I going to do with all this product? They also donated some to a shelter. I believe they donated to Best Friends, an equal amount, so that I didn't say anything bad about them. But now I figure I'll just pay it forward to give it to you. You give it to your clients. You do
Yeah.
whatever you want with it, or you throw it away. That's up to you.
I'll let you know.
You sell it.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anyway, I want to thank Thunderworks for giving us that free stuff. But more importantly, Tommy Cooper, we need you to send us a bunch of posture shirts for my father-in-law. And he's probably a medium or a large. I don't know what, but just straighten that old man up because he is. He's just bent over. Why should pet owners avoid dog parks?
I don't have a problem with dog parks. I really don't. But I think the problem with dog parks is the dog owners that go to dog parks because they usually just go and they leave their dog there and then they go sit on the bench and then they're just scrolling on their phone the whole time and they have no idea what's going on. So even if I did that with Dexter, who loves other dogs, he would be running around humping other dogs. His brain's not really working. So what I do with dogs is I want to get them thinking. I want to slow down their need to just go all the time and have zero impulse control and really slow them down and be a little bit more intentional with them. So that's my spiel on dog parks. I don't have an issue with them. Like I said, I'll still take Dexter to them.
If you go a walk to a dog park, maybe that can be like, and the dog park can be the reward.
Yeah, I think what happens is you pull up to the dog park, the dog's screaming in the car, you let them rush out the door,
Gotcha.
they run into the dog park, and then they don't even know who you are when you're in there. They're just in dog land. It's like, I haven't been
don't
to
go to the dog
LA
park.
dog park, so maybe it's different.
You've never been to an LA dog park?
No, I haven't. I feel like
What?
it's got to be. Well, I have Lana, so if I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to take both of them.
How often are you training people's dogs?
Too often.
How did Pete find you?
He found me. I'm an independent contractor. I was an independent contractor through a dog training company.
They finally got a dog. Like
She's great.
They take him and his wife. They take 500 years to make any decision. And
Well
now
thought
they have
out.
well, whatever. Then
These were impulsive.
And he has, the dumb hip sack of treats that's just so embarrassing. And then the 60-foot training leash that he walks around with. And I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Let's just let your dog run around. And then they're always, oh, well, we can't leave right now. Our dog's going to nap. I'm like, what? Just open the door to your room and just leave.
I actually talk about them with other clients because of how amazing they did with their dog when she was a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
So I give great reviews to their parenting style.
It just seems a bit much. Cassidy, thank you for being on the show. Good luck.
Thank you.
And I hope no more dogs in the world die under your watch.
They probably will, unfortunately.
Well,
but
you're doing your part. That's all you can ask
doing
for.
our best.
Tosh Show.
All right. I want to thank Cassidy for helping out, working with the pets of Tosh Show. Carl, how you doing, buddy? Did you enjoy the Super Bowl? I haven't watched yet. I recorded it, and I'm going to save it and watch it during the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my wife wants to watch the Oscars. I'm positive of that, and then I can just go downstairs and watch the big game. Now, did I place a ton of bets on the Super Bowl? You better believe it. But I'm not checking my app. Not checking the balance.
Smart.
Anyway, we got some plugs. toshshowstore.com. Check out the Tosh Show merch. Wear that merch to one of my shows. Get a free finger point. Yeah, we got Eddie's tour dates and my tour dates. Adding new shows. Adding second shows in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. And I'm excited about this. Heading out of the country, heading to Portugal, doing a show in Lisbon. Can you believe it? Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Why are we performing in Lisbon? I don't know. Maybe I want to live there one day. You get a golden visa. You buy some real estate. You pretend that you're from a different country. It's what all the cool rich guys are doing. Comporta. They say that's like the Hamptons. I'm not a fan of the Hamptons. Never have been. What do you think of that? When people are like, oh, we're going to the Hamptons, I'm like, great. They're like, are you going to be there? I'm like, I'm never going there. Not my thing. I'll tell you where I love, Nantucket.
Yep.
Those are my people. I like people in Nantucket. Martha's Vineyard? Nah. No, thank you. I travel. I find places I like. Maine? Good luck getting me out of there. I would live in Maine if it wasn't for my wife.
That's the best.
Gosh, she's such a downer. Anytime we're in someplace great, I'm like, don't you think we could live here? And she's like, no. I'm like, why not? She's like, I don't know. Like, we're having the best time ever. The food's delicious. People are wonderful. It's beautiful. She doesn't like cold, though. That's what gets her. I'm like, we don't have to be here when it's cold.
Right.
Stay inside. It's not like you do anything anyway.
Stay inside.
All right. Well, let's get to the free plug. We got any free plug music?
You know we do.
What kind of music are we listening to? Oh, that's more like just nature sounds, but I like it. You gotta throw in one of Eddie's random eagle noises right there. All right, let's see what this free plug is. You guys do know that these free plugs, I don't look at them until right at this moment. So here we go. This week's free plug is for Pink's Carpet Cleaning in the greater Phoenix area. You guys know by now that we here at Tosh Show love supporting small businesses, and this week is no different. You know, a carpet cleaning, just in general, are people still getting wall-to-wall carpet? And is that a selling point? Oh, we've got wall-to-wall carpeting. Well, that's good. You employ that guy that goes around and rams that thing with his knee.
Yeah, right.
That's good. Anyway, Pink specializes in cleaning carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and area rugs. Oh, that's good. You know, I had somebody come clean our area rugs, and they basically, when they took They removed the furniture, took the rug out, and then came back and put the furniture back and left. The rugs were great. But I'll be honest with you, the furniture was fucking nowhere near where it originally was. They basically just redecorated. So now, if I get the area rugs cleaned ever, I'm down putting corner pieces of tape everywhere and marking stuff off.
I mean, imagine if you're blind, come back in that room.
Bust a shin. Anyway. Well, so anyway, pinks. Satisfaction guaranteed for 14 days. After 14 days, you and I both know that bitch spilled some wine. They don't just do in-home cleaning either. If you have a highly soiled area rug, they'll pick it up and then redeliver it back to you as clean as a whistle. That's what I was just talking about. That's what all my rug guys do. No, none of the rug people want to clean in front of you because they don't want to see how. I'm convinced that sometimes they just fucking flip my rug over. And it's like, oh, look at that. We cleaned it. I'm like, did you? Or did you just flip it over? You're on to us. These people are licensed and insured. They also clean furniture. So don't forget, their slogan is, if it's dirty or stinks, call Pinks. Well, now I know why we picked them. They got us with their dumb slogan. If it's dirty or stinks, call Pinks. If it's dirty and stinks, well, you just fucked a whore. See you next week.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.